it's becoming way more obvious to me because I've already thought these things, and then to see how Kleck is giving you more and more information, just dialing it down to the very exact location and time, and then direction of the path of destruction. I have this urge to tell everybody, but who's listening again? Like, the people that have heard me in person, I still say it anyway. It doesn't matter. I still say it's here. And I'll just throw it out there real quickly. Hey, that bomb's going to happen at 5:55 on Sunday, December 22nd, the Eagles and Cowboys games. I know I said it before. Just say, it's out there. I know. Access road. That was the kicker right there. When I seen access road, 410 access road. Access road is right there, right at the link. Click the link. Blown up. 7,000 men. I also, the same way I get this information. When you see it happen, you'll understand then. But the same feeling that I get knowing that this is going to happen that way, and on top of that, that nobody's dying the way, like they're saying that they're going to say that so many people died, or it might be 153. Or 144 at the Lincoln Financial Field. And they'll save the biggest for last, like the biggest blast. Well, I don't. Let me just stick with my original one because there's a chance to have so many people in one place at one time, with like 60,000 something people, I think can fit in the stadium. When Kleck is talking about this, the first 9/11, that his new video is all about the first 9/11 because the second one's coming. And as he's telling you the people, the amount of people that they said died, 2,700, he's like, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, because what he's telling you is that really didn't happen. That's what he's telling you. When they said that amount of people died, he's saying they didn't. And he's not directly telling you, but same way I have that feeling I get my information, and then it actually takes place afterwards, is how I see Kleck talking about this. Now, is he serious about what he's doing, all this stuff? Yeah, I think he is. Do him and Steve, are they both in on it to the fullest, 100%, both of them knowing what the outcome's going to be? If they do, then that means Kleck is on board with the end result. But I don't feel like he is on board with the end result. I feel like Steve's on board with the end result, but I don't feel like Kleck is. I feel like Steve and Kleck are those two kings sitting at one table speaking lies to one another. Because they're obviously not the same. They're just not. Although they're acting the same. There's a hold up here. You just gotta wait. You just gotta be patient. Like, what are you gonna do? is where people probably start beeping their horn. The only thing I'm getting from myself is I'm not getting the dates, the time, the day, the event. I'm not making this stuff up. You can't even make this stuff up. The only thing that's mine is putting the pieces of the puzzle in the right spot, in order, in line. That's it. So when I say at 5:55 there's going to be an explosion on the sidelines with Deshaun Jackson. Oh, he is playing, by the way, for the first time since week 2. Because they needed to make sure that he was going to be healthy for this game. The hell with the rest of the year. It didn't even matter. He came back to the Eagles to play this role because his name is Deshaun. As he's running down the sidelines, and then there's an explosion down the sidelines, that's when they're going to blame it on an asteroid. But then there are others going to blame it on ISIS, terrorists. And I'm going to tell you, I'm blaming it on Kleck. I don't think anybody else in the world is blaming it on Kleck, but I am. And then the ones that are even working with him, but they don't know like his deal, like what he sets up, you're just following him as the commander, the commander of your army. And you look up to him because he's intelligent. He has the word of God, but he's like kind of like a cooler Jesus type figure in the last days here. You can relate to him because he's in the military, so you got that chain of command and that respect for you're a military person, you got respect for another military. I'm a carpenter, I get respect for another carpenter. If I do carpentry work on a military person's house, I have respect for the military person and his house as I'm doing work. And then you do that because you look for the same in return, but you got to treat people that way first, or you're just gonna get treated the way you treat people. So I can see how people can be connected with Kleck, even if you're working with him, like under him, for him, but you don't know that he's responsible for like the sky setting, the sun, the moon and the stars falling from heaven, and the William Penn building getting hit with the missiles. It's telling you that came from Iran or Saudi Arabia or whoever the Pensacola shooting, the guy, he was Saudi Arabian, right? So it gives Saudi Arabia a reason to send some missiles over here. But if you don't know that Kleck is responsible for that, and you see these things happen, and then he starts to like become in charge even more, you're going to follow right along with him. But if you're that person, and now you're hearing me tell you what's going to happen before it does, and I'm telling you that your boss is the one responsible for setting all the stuff up, and he's not who he's claiming to be. Only at that time of graduation, when the 2-3 bypass, when I get bypassed, either on that day, Monday the 23rd, because of the bank robbery at 8:48, or the bombing, and then they go to the William Penn at 9:03, or is it vice versa? Is it William Penn gets hit first at 8:48? Be still, know that Kleck is God. He brought that up again today with Obama. Yeah, these are the things that I'm saying. I already know that, and then he's bringing it up today. So I was way ahead of him with the 8:48 and where it was going because of the rice cooker, New York pressure cooker scare on August 16th, 2019. They talked about the rice cookers. They talked about the 0848, which made no sense, but. And then when you got Kleck showing you Obama's portrait in 8:48, or not his portrait, but his picture with 9/11 there, put it both together, and then you go to Building 8 over there at Chase Bank, 17th and JFK Boulevard. So I'm not getting because it's all about the 8s. That's an address. I got that from Kleck, 17th. That's how many years he was doing this ministry. John F. Kennedy Boulevard, Jonathan Fargo, Kleck. I'm getting it from him. The place, the time, the events, I'm hearing it from his mouth. Everything I'm hearing from his mouth, yeah, you know, you can have it completely backwards. It could be the Chase Bank building first, and then William Penn, and then the Met, or it can be the William Penn first, then the Chase Bank, and then back to Willie. But I see the way that you can get William Penn cleared out is to say that the bank just got robbed at 8:48 a.m. and it keeps people away because it's only 2 blocks away from the William Penn building. It keeps everybody away, which goes to my point of how they're going to clear the path because they don't want anybody to die. They're creating the problems, making it look like complete catastrophe and death, but they really don't want anybody to die. That's why they have those robots that go in the buildings that can sense if anybody's there to make sure that they get out. This is what they did with the first 9/11 towers when they fell. They made sure that everybody got out of the building. Believe what you want, because the way Kleck's talking, nobody died either. I'll show you. I'll show you where I'm coming from with his words, and you, my subscribers, you guys think for yourself anyway. You all have. That's why the comment section it's a different comment section than other channels, because I know when somebody's trying to cling to me with flatteries. Other channels, people cling to them with flatteries and they're paid to say nice, great things. My channel started out like not knowing, and then the attacking, and then the agents and trolls, and then fighting back with you, and then going back, and then being gang stalked, and just you guys knowing it and being part of it, and you're part of my life now. And then full circle, like the William Penn, full circle. Now I know better. You fooled me once, you can't frickin' fool me to frick again. You're not fooling me with the second 9/11. That's a fact. It's a flat out fact. Philadelphia, 9/11, William Penn building. Now it's just a matter of when. Well, Sunday's the time that it starts. That Eagles game, because click the link below. The Lincoln getting blown up is the last football game at home for the Eagles. And Dallas is coming to town. And the Nephilims came here last week. Therefore, the comment section is more authentic, and it's real, because the ones that do say nice things from before, I remember fighting with you. So I know that the comment is a real one, because I know that you're going to speak your mind, and you've said it before through your words. And, when it's like being tried. You were tried once, I was tried. And then go around the William Penn building full circle, come back around, your enemies are now your friends. Your enemy is like your friend. I'm welcomed into your home, car, work, wherever you're at watching me right now for the half-hour period of time, or however long I talk. You're still watching, and you've been watching for a while. You were against me. I'm not saying you're with me, but I'm saying you're not as against me as before. But that's probably because some of you are working under Jonathan Kleck. You do not know that he's responsible for the skies. You don't know that he's responsible for the first 9/11, the second 9/11, the money being printed on the back of money, the Obama's portrait, the Led Zeppelin angel, all these drawings and statues he's putting up, and everything over in Manhattan statue. I think it's called Wars and Rumors of Wars. That's his too. All these things are his. But you don't truly believe that, because it's like, how can you? But when I put all these clips together and all the information, and you see it for yourself, that's why I'm saying you take the information and you're going to think what you want with it. And you're going to, and when you do comment, it's a legitimate comment. I know it's a real, authentic comment because I've went through this process of filtering out fakery. And then I know who the trolls still are, but that's calmed down a lot. The trolling, it's calmed down, but everybody has a job to do, so I get it. When these events happen, if that is the level of like this, I don't know, command of chain that you're on, if that's the level where you're at, and then it actually happens at Philadelphia, and you're not thinking the second 9/11 is really going to take place, you don't, and then when it happens here in Philadelphia, and I've been telling you this all along, then what do? When you see the abomination, desolation, standing in the dead center of Philadelphia, and if you see that on the 23rd of December, 2019, it might go to December 25th. Still in between with these 2 days, because he has 2 days in there. It's mixed around, but Sunday's the day to start. It starts down at the link below. When it starts there and moves its way up, and it keeps happening in front of your eyes, and you know where I'm from because you're part of him. You don't live where I'm at, but you're surveilling me. You see it. You're maybe just your job is YouTube and not actually really surveilling or your job is through surveilling me through my radio or my dashboard or whatever, wherever you guys see it and listen and hear. That's your job. You don't believe you don't believe Kleck's responsible for any of that crap, and I'm telling you he is. And then I'm going to show it to you when it happens that he is responsible for it. Because you know where I'm from, and I'm just one person outside here looking in. And he is this major top commando guy with all this army, like this literal army in the world. He can kill me in a second. If he wants me dead right now, I'm dead. If he wants me to be brutally tortured to death, I'll get brutally tortured to death. But that's only if you guys continue to help him, because what's he going to do? Is he going to come up to me himself? You know what I mean? And take me captive without an army behind him? Because he's going to need an army behind him to take me captive by myself. He can't do it by himself. Now, but again, it goes back to this thing. Is he being serious? Or is he playing the Steve role also? I don't think so. I think he's serious. I know what Steve's going to do. And I know what Kleck wants to do. And I don't think I'm deceived with this. So it truly does come down to you guys, the ones that are working under Kleck, for him. And you're with him. Some of yous are probably coming down here to Philly to watch the Eagles game. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Are you guys on a trip down here to the Eagles game? And Jonathan Kleck is going to be at the Eagles game? Did you guys meet up at the Met building over there at 858 Broad Street? Is that the meeting place? Do you even know why you're here? Some of you know exactly why you're here, right? Because you're setting the stuff up. You're setting the stage up. Which means others, you're working for him just by behind a computer, like paycheck type of thing. Any bit of help by helping him is helping him. Any little bit that you do, that you stop, is not helping him. But if you stop helping him, then you're helping me. So you got to kind of either pick one or the other. Either go with the guy that has the entire American military at his fingertips, and he can command them to go and do this and the other thing, and they do it. I don't know how you become one of them, but I guess you got to be in the military. I guess you got to have family. I'm sure you got to have a dad that was in there, and you got to have like 10 or 20,000 jumps from airplane. You got to actually be in there, like, to be a military commando of the United States of America. Because that's exactly what Jonathan Kleck is. Well, you can go with that because there's security there. You got promise from a man that doesn't know how the inner workings of a man's heart can change, and he doesn't know the right words to say at the right time to say it for the amount of time, day in and day out, like a daily sacrifice should do. He doesn't know how your words changes people's thoughts, especially if you get the person that was bad on with some kind of thoughts in their head, and then you explain something about how to connect the dots and gather your thoughts and be able to conquer them, because, you know, Steve did tell me I was my own worst enemy. I got to give him credit for that because it tremendously helped from that point on. I don't know why it clicked. It just, sometimes some things people say clicks. Look, it worked. My enemy said something that helped me tremendously, so go figure. I'll give my enemy credit. Steve knows I love him. I love you, Steve. I really do. I just can't wait for you to start telling the truth, because I'm tired of... I know you have to lie, but I'm still sick of it. Just tired of it. You can go with the top commando, and you got security, you got safety, because you're promised something by a man. But remember, Kleck did tell you that this is a trap, a snare. It's like a taking away, a catching or something, and then it's like a snare at the same time. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay behind here? I'm here. I mean, unless I get taken into captivity, I'm going to be here in the thick of all of it, in the lion's den, thrown through the fire. And I'll just, yeah, however it plays out, it plays out. If I can see it happen, and why would I be scared or worried for a second? Why would I have any ounce of doubt whatsoever when I can see what's going to happen before it does? And you guys that are watching, you know that I'm only just guessing because I don't have anything else. I don't have these connections here and there like Kleck has them all over the world. He gets to gang stalk everybody. Everything he sees, he's using millions of people, hundreds and thousands of people to see. He can see through anybody. He can see through anybody's vehicle, anybody's phone at any given time that he wants to. That's Satan. That's him trying to be like God, trying to be able to see what everybody's doing. Like literally, he can see what everybody's doing. He knows how people are on the inside. He just doesn't know how to change their hearts because he doesn't give a shit. He can see everybody, and he sees their private moments. He sees their private conversations. You can get to really know who someone is when they're not in front of you, especially if they're talking about you behind the walls and the doors. That's why the people like you that don't know that he's the lead gang stalker, him and Steve, when you don't know that and he's surveilling you, he knows if you're talking about him, like Santa Claus. How do you think Santa Claus knows if you're good or bad? Because he's a freaking gang stalker, that's why. How the frick do you know, Santa Claus, if I've been good or bad? You've been stalking me all this year? It's the same thing. Santa Claus trying to replace, Christ, but using Satan claws. Using his claws to dig in you. So anyway, you can take Kleck's side if you want. Look, I don't qualify to be a military commander because I've never been in the military, and I'm not killing anybody. I'm not shooting anybody. I'll die if you put me in the war. But this war here, I'm not dying. I'm not giving up. I don't stop any time at all. There's no stopping here. It's like that. You see that sign right there? Well, it says no stopping. I don't stop until this is over. Until I literally can't, do it. Well, my hands are tied behind my back and I'm sitting in a prison cell because I did say this 9/11's happening, and it happened exactly the way I said it did. I'm getting locked up. I know I'm getting locked up too. But who's going to get me out? That's the key. Is Kleck going to be waiting there? Or is it going to be somebody else? Who's going to be there? Or do I just not get out at all? whatever, wherever I go, anybody who comes in my path is going to hear what's going on. They're going to know. Not only are they going to know that what I said happened, I'm going to tell them what's going to happen afterwards, and then they're going to start seeing that on the news too, while I'm just sitting in prison. I get to change their heart because they're going to know, holy shit, this is just some dude here. But I know because you guys are telling me. The YouTube Planet Agents, YouTube, Kleck, YouTube, and you too, over there, Steven, Kleck, YouTube. YouTube agents are showing me everything I need to know. So whose side are you going to be on when Philadelphia gets hit? You won't you can say whatever now, but you won't know until you see it. You really have to let it sink in, because you know you've been surveilling me, and you know that I work alone. And your boss is a top military commando in the United States of America. Like, he controls the weather. This guy can set off bombs as the Unabomber. He is the Unabomber. He can set bombs off anywhere and just get away with it and blow shit up. Put fear in people's hearts. Like, this guy has all this rulership in the world, this authority over money too. Money. Well, I don't know if he has authority. See, that's where I kind of think that Steve is the other end, and Kleck is trying to go with the money. But I don't know, because he did draw it, so it is his print artwork on the back of it. So I guess we'll just wait until that happens, the second 9/11 at the William Penn building, and see how you feel then about me, and then see how you feel about Kleck. I don't want to be worshipped by anybody. I just want to be appreciated for the hard work that I put in to wake you guys up and see and show you who your boss is. For those that are on that level, that's what I'm doing for you. I don't want him to lie to you. I don't want him to lie to you at all. I want him to tell you the truth. Like, why does he have to lie about his power? Because he's trying to act as if he's God. That's why he's hiding it. He's being used by God big time, for sure. Because if he wasn't, look, if he didn't get up and lie the way that he is and be the way that he is, I wouldn't be so severely disgusted and just sickened by it to death that gets me up to fight back. By my fighting is just gathering evidence and just like a conveyor belt. It's just, I'll constantly give it out until I can't, and then, you guys have all that work to do and discern on your own what you feel like, how you want to take it. Who is he? Why is he here? What's he doing? Why am I here? What am I doing? I'm just taking down the top criminal in the world, which is the ISIS terrorist group. Because these are the people that, when you see the world major news dominating events, they're the ones that created it. So yeah, I think when it comes to knowing who I snagged, those sharks in the sea, I don't let go. Doesn't matter who says what, I don't let go. It just doesn't, nothing dictates my thoughts anymore, because I've kicked those demons out. I've flipped over that table when they were betting, exchanging money to one another, betting on me, how they're going to puppet me along and string me along like the puppet that I was. Once I finally kicked those demonic, feelings and thoughts in my head, now it's just me. Now I can think for myself. I can hear what you're saying, what they're saying, and take it in consideration, but truly is my own path. And that's what I know that I help people with, is the understanding of your thoughts. Where do they come from? So many people just don't even know where they come from. They don't even think. They don't even think it comes from anywhere. They just think it's them. So I guess we'll just see what happens with second 9/11, see how you guys feel at that point. Who you want to start listening to. Because I can tell you what's going to happen after. If you don't come on this side and you stay on that side, I can tell you what'll happen afterwards. Not in detail. Right now I can just tell you that the main thing is you stand in shame. I've said that already. But that's not a big deal. Because right now people, because they have this power trip, because they know that Kleck is the man. He's the man. I'm not. He is. You guys know that he's the man. So you're going with him right now anyway. So whatever it is that I say at this moment, it really doesn't hold any water behind it. He's the one that's holding all the water. Because when he lets go to Hoover Dam and everything comes flowing through, and he tells you that 7-story buildings getting hit with a tidal wave, it's not New York City, it's Philadelphia. It's the 7-story building, the William Penn building. So yeah, you're going to stand in shame, but there's other details that they're not presented yet. They're just not available for you to have at this moment. I mean, I can tell you afterwards, after you've already stood in shame, and then after the whole Bible has been fulfilled, then I can tell you to your face. But in the meantime, it's better to start going and thinking for yourself. Like, if you stop battling with yourself, you'll stop warring with everybody else. When you're battling with yourself, you're being weak-minded because you're allowing Satan to control you. That bitter anger that you still have about shit in life, and you're so pissed off all the time, but you enjoy it. It's not good for you. Why do you want to be pissed off all the time? You don't have to be. So when you're warring with yourself, that's what you're going to do, and you're going to war with other people. Kleck is not a happy person. He's not. I mean, he's thrilled what he's doing, but inside he's empty. Truly empty. So help me fill his heart with the Holy Spirit. Help me do that. Because he needs that. That's the only thing he's missing right now. He has everything in the entire world. He's a great artist. He'll enjoy his artwork so much more when he's filled with the Holy Spirit. Trust me. Or don't. Stick with him and see what happens in the end. You just stand in shame, but there's a bigger